Hello, and you are listening to On the Topic. And after 10,000 years I'm free, it's time to conquer Earth with this podcast. I'm Dan.
And after this episode, I'm reconsidering when I should accept my new powers, because it sounds like I might be in for a rough ride. I'm Alex. And this week, Dan, it's not an explicit lead to put on this, but it is like a bleak content label, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the most uplifting, as you can tell by the title of this episode. But Dan, what are we covering this week?
The curse of the Power Rangers.
Yeah. We're going on a bit of a 90s spree as of late, what with Throwback Thursdays and Vault episodes and the likes, and the facts of the 90s.
It's a nostalgia train.
It is. And we thought we would talk about something that, you know, what we were fond of and we've spoken about before, which is the Power Rangers. You know, we loved it when it came out in, was it 92, 93?
93.
We got the toys for Christmas and we enjoyed playing them in the playground and all that nonsense as you were growing up in school. And I guess it's the algorithms started targeting and they hit me with the curse, the Power Rangers. I thought, this isn't going to be fun, but let's read in it. And actually, when you start reading about it, it's not a happy story.
No.
And actually, something that gave us a lot of joy growing up, and you know, I've enjoyed watching the latest Power Rangers series, Ninja Steel, Cosmic Fury, all of that with my son, New Generation. It's really sad. I'm only laughing because it's sad. Not I'm laughing because of the circumstances, because the circumstances are really bleak. I feel really bad for these people. But it just goes from something that's so heartwarming and comforting to something that's so bloody bleak really quickly.
Seems to be a word we're using a lot lately. Bleak. It's dank, dark, sad.
State of world affairs, perhaps. But yeah, this is very dank. So if it's not for you, and guys, you may not be in a headspace to listen to this episode because you know what's coming up, that's okay. Okay by us. You can put it on pause, come back to it another time, put it back on the shelf, go listen to anything else that we've got out there which isn't quite so dark, isn't quite so dank, and that's okay. This will still be waiting for you, and you can still listen to it. However, before you go, I guess I need to subscribe, Dan.
Yes. Talking of conquering Earth with the podcast, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Do a thing.
We can't do it on our own. We need your help.
We do. Just hitting that subscribe button will take you not even 5 seconds.
No, less than that.
Give us a quick rating. And it just helps other people to find us across that podcast platform.
It does. Yeah, please. So, I guess we should probably get into it, Dan, shall we?
Yeah, should we kick off with the history of the Power Rangers?
Let's do it.
History of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Power Rangers is an American media franchise built around a superhero television series. The first Power Rangers entry, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which we'll be focusing on mostly in this episode, was produced by Saban Entertainment, debuted on August the 28th, 1993, a simpler time. It became a hit with high viewer ratings and toy sales, don't we know it, and helped not only to establish the franchise, but also earned it a place in contemporary pop culture.
Indeed. Created
by Haim Saban, Shuki Levy and the Toei Company. Original work, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, ran from 1993 to 1996. Owners, Hasbro, of course, who made the toys, and the Toei Company. Running years, 1993 to present. As you mentioned, Alex, you've been enjoying some of the more current stuff with your son?
Yep. I think there has I think 2 seasons of one and 1 season of, but they kind of were continuation of the characters with some old ones coming back. And they're in talks to do a new cast, I think now.
Disney Plus, isn't it? I think
they picked it up, yeah.
It's based on Super Sentai by the Toei Company. Now, the Power Rangers television series adapts characters and footage from the Japanese tokusatsu franchise Super Sentai for Western audiences, while also incorporating its own stories and characters. Now, the original series ran for 30 seasons, which aired from 1993 to 2023, and has expanded into other media, including theatrical films. Do you remember the one from 1995 with Ivan Ooze?
I think I do.
I remember it looked amazing in the cinema because it had a bit of CGI to it.
Yeah, it's refreshed for the big screen.
Doesn't really hold up to this day, sadly.
No. I think I put it off my son. I thought, he's not going to buy this. Not compared to what's just being released in Dino Fury. Like he just wouldn't accept it.
I found it odd that it was never really a continuation of the TV series, because they got their ninja powers, didn't they? And then the new Zords.
Yes.
But then the storyline on the TV series was something slightly different.
Yeah, and it's really odd how I think they make reference in each of the series, maybe subtly, to other Power Rangers. Like the concept of a Power Ranger is known, but they're in new cities. It's like, well, you're in a world where there are known Power Rangers and known monsters running around every couple of years. Like, what's happened to these Power Rangers? And does every city have their own Power Ranger and their own baddie? And it's very odd. There's no continuity. Where one series finished, they start up again in a brand new, lovely sounding utopia of a city, and it's laid ravaged to all these random monsters again that look very camp and chintzy, but no one seems to say, well, hang on a minute, what about all the 30, 40 other Power Rangers in all the other cities? Let's get them here and finish off for good. They just don't do it. But why? Why not?
It's very odd. It's a very odd concept. Other media include comic books, novels and video games. Did you ever play any of the video games back in the day?
I did. One of my favourites actually was on the Game Boy. So this was the original Game Boy, not colour.
The big chunky ones.
Yeah, the grey one. Upstairs in my loft actually.
I think I had the yellow one for a while. Don't know where it's gone, sadly, but
still have it. Whether or not it works or not, mainly the good old clean. And it was the greeny white black kind of pixel screen. And effectively, you are a Power Ranger. I don't know if you get to choose. I think you do. And they all have very subtle, different abilities based on the first Power Rangers program. And you go through some really odd levels. Like that, I seem to remember this really infuriating one. It's in a cave, and you've got to battle these bats. It's basically you just basically cave diving, killing these bats with arrows or knives, and it's really odd, and you do flying kicks. It's really boring and really infuriating. And then it's bookended by your sword battles. Very binary, very straightforward, but I loved it because it's the first kind of real franchise port from the TV screen to my Game Boy, and I loved it. But it wasn't the greatest. But what was cool was it had some replayability. So, if you... Of course, I was always a Red Ranger, right?
Yeah, Jason was always my leader.
100%. But very close combat, whereas I think I then pivoted maybe to the Yellow Ranger, where she had the bow and arrow, I think. And you could...
Pink Ranger had the bow and arrow.
Pink.
I think Trini,
you're right.
or the Yellow Ranger, had the daggers.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, the pink... And so I was like, I'll just spam the arrow button, so I didn't have to get close to these bloody bats. So it had some replayability because it had different weapons, and you had to play differently. But as far as it wasn't really an in-depth kind of game. But yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think there was something similar on... I played it on the Sega Mega Drive, but there was also a game for the film that came out in 95.
Oh, right.
But like I say, there was always that familiar going through caves and beating the crap out of putties or bats or whatever they were. And then you'd have the Zord battles. It was fun, just button mashing really as a kid.
Yeah, it wasn't anything too complicated, was it?
No.
2 buttons, punch and kick, and maybe with the jumps thrown in for good measure. But it's all good fun though.
It was. Now, a franchise reboot is currently in development. Despite initial criticism, some parents and media watchdogs that its violent action was unsuitable for a show that was intended to be viewed by children. As we've talked about things being banned in the playground was it last episode, I think?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
The franchise has been commercially successful. By 2001, Alex, the media franchise had generated over $6 billion in toy sales. That's no short change.
It isn't, but would you expect more over the course of, 30-ish years?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, we don't really see Power Ranger toys in shops anymore, whereas they were quite prevalent when I was a kid, especially like during the mid-90s.
Early to mid-90s, I mean, it was in shops forever.
You'd go into Tesco and they'd have all the Zords lined up along the bottom shelf, and I'd be like, I wish I could have the latest Ninja Zord or whatever. We've already talked about this, the elusive original Megazord.
Yeah.
Never got hold of it. Made me sad.
I'm sure it's on eBay for like £1 gazillion now.
I think have done like re-releases as well over the years, where they've made the detail slightly better. They might be a little bit smaller and less chunkier, but they're a bit more accurate in terms of what you actually see on the TV.
Yeah.
But like say, you're not paying 30 quid like we were in the 90s. It's probably be a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Although talking of the toys, I remember going to I went to a flea market in Florida years and years ago, towards the end of the 90s, 99, and they had bootleg versions, like just boxed up on like flat cardboard with plastic over it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll be tempted, but equally, does 14-year-old Dan need Power Ranger toys now? Not really.
Oh, that would have been cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
But that was the history of the Power Rangers. Or a brief one, anyway.
Well, when focusing in on the first iteration, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, at least for Western audiences, because as you say, Dan, this was effectively just copied from Japanese ninja programs, right?
So it was just bulk footage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So you reused the fight scenes and just then filmed American teenagers on the off scenes. So it's all stitched together. And you can probably see it now if you watch it back. It's like it is actually quite poor, because you can see that they're not the same footage and it's not the same kind of continuity of filming. But that's how they did it. Well, it follows initially a group of teenagers from the fictional city of Angel Grove, California, chosen by the intergalactic being Zordon to transform into Power Rangers, a group of warriors prepared to fight against the evil monsters sent from space by none other than the witch, Rita Repulsa.
Oh, good old Rita.
That bloody bitch. And her minions. Now, season 1 I've got here, but it's maybe when it landed in the western part of the world, was 93 to 94. Should we talk about some of the seasons before we get into the sad things?
Yeah, let's do that. Series 1 spans 60 episodes. I couldn't quite believe that.
That is insane. We got a lot more bang for our back in the 90s. Yeah. Like, it's the same in Star Trek. Star Trek episodes a season is something like 20, 25 episodes. Now, you're lucky if you get 9. Now, an episode these days costs like £1 million to £2 million. I'm like, no one wants that. Just give us your grainy, dodgy CGI, but give us double an episode count. But it seems like they're putting more money into it, but getting less out. And it's the same Power Rangers. We got absolutely bucket loads of episodes, but really nowadays, I think to be fair, these seasons, I think they're about 16, maybe 17, 15, 16. So they're nowhere near as many as the 90s. They have obviously reduced in over time, but we don't get anything these days.
Not that long.
Anything quite like that. Do you reckon it's because more modern audiences have got poor attention span?
Oh, it's got to be.
Is things more expensive to make now? What have you got a thought?
I reckon cost is probably one of them, because I read while doing my notes, didn't make my notes oddly, but the actors were actually quite underpaid
Yeah.
for the roles that they were doing. But I reckon cost is probably one of them, especially now when you look at, the CGI that they can use.
True. A lot of it all goes on CGI, actually.
Whereas, I mean, the original Power Rangers was just bulk footage, and you mentioned, I think even I picked it up as a kid every now and again. I saw that last week's episode.
Exactly. Stock footage.
But yeah, it was mind-blowing. So season 1, 60 episodes, that ran from August the 28th, 93 to May 23rd, 94. Season 2, slightly less, 52 episodes, which ran July 21st, 94 to May 20th, 1995.
Yep.
And then finally, season 3, only 33 episodes, September the 2nd, 95 through to November 95. That's a lot of episodes for the original cast.
It is.
Staggering. What was I saying? The typical formula consists of the teens facing personal or everyday teenage struggles in Angel Grove, followed by Rita sending a monster to Earth. The Rangers fight the putties, summon their Zords to battle the monster after it grows to giant size and eventually save the day.
Rinse, repeat, hundreds of times.
But there were some brilliant storylines.
Yeah.
Do you remember Green with Evil? It was a 5-part arc which introduced Tommy Oliver.
Yes.
The mysterious new kid in town, Rita kidnaps him, brainwashes him with an evil spell, and gives him the powers of the Green Ranger. After a fierce battle, the original Rangers break Rita's spell, and Tommy joins their team, becoming one of the most famous characters in the franchise.
And he goes through a whole period of joining the team, loses powers, regains his powers.
It was like, that was season 2, wasn't it? I think she had this green candle which was burning his powers away.
Bloody bitch.
Yeah. But season 1, Green with Evil, I mean, 5 episodes for that particular story arc.
And it's fantastic because this new guy just turns up.
Yeah.
And absolutely decimates the whole friendship group and upsets everything at school and, their extracurricular club activities, at the gym or whatever. He's just like this guy working out, throwing evils at everyone, at Jason.
Yeah, of course, back then, we didn't get an episode every day. We'd have to wait till the following week for the next part. And you're like, oh, for God's sake, they've captured Jason. Now he's in like this chamber in Rita's alternative dimension or whatever she sent him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Tommy's duking out of him in the following episode. Is Jason going to live?
Who knows?
Oh, we've got a party going on in the background.
We're not
I
invited.
don't know if the mic's going to pick it up, but I want to get involved.
Beautiful day down here on the South Coast.
Oh, it's beautiful. Seems to be a regular occurrence when I do videos for the socials.
There you go. You've got to do one, haven't you? But yeah, it was a strong season, and it's something that we'd never really seen before. It was in the height of, like Saved by the Bell, California Dreams. It kind of had those teenage coming of age kind of aspects, the teenage dramas, but with all of the bits that you and I would love, which is your playground antics, your kicking the crap out of the baddies and things that you shouldn't really emulate, but you do in the playground. And I'm sure many a child was sent to first aid with broken or damaged limbs because someone's decided to do a flying kick off the bench into someone's head.
Kick some lumps out of people.
Yeah. But it really was defining entertainment of the 90s for our demographic, our age group. It
changed my childhood, I guess my health at the time as well. So I suffered really badly with asthma. But because of the Power Rangers, I was like, I want to do karate.
You got to.
So I did karate for, must have been about 3 years.
Oh, you actually went and did lessons?
I actually went and did lessons.
Because of Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And oddly, the asthma that I was suffering from throughout those childhood years just disappeared. I don't quite know what happened.
It's the power of the Power Rangers, mate.
It's the power of the Power Rangers. I'm not sure I want to go any further than losing my asthma.
No, I think we can leave it there, probably.
Should we talk a little bit about the characters?
Yes, let's do that.
First up, we've got Jason Lee Scott, the first Red Ranger of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and
The OG.
first leader of the team. He was my leader.
He's a quintessential American jock, but he wasn't kind of the arse. Usually in films, television programs, the jock is the meathead who is very kind to people and very self-assured and bolshy, whereas he isn't like that in this. I mean, he has aspects, but he's a team player.
Yeah.
That's why he's a natural leader. So I think it was quite refreshing to kind of see that character, but take on a different approach. Because up until that point, anyone who had muscles, was athletic, went to the gym, was a dick.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
He was quite a nice guy.
I believe so.
But is he in real life? We'll get to that shortly. He wields the Power Sword, pilots the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord, and Red Dragon Thunderzord, which came along a little bit later.
All the good ones.
During Tommy's absence, he also wields the Dragon Dagger and controls the Green Ranger's Dragon Zord. Lucky boy. Jason was portrayed by Austin St. John. We've got Zach Taylor, the first Black Power Ranger. He wields the Power Axe, pilots the Mastodon Dinozord and Lion Thunderzord, a bit later on, and commands the Dragon Zord in battle mode. Zach was portrayed by Walter Emmanuel Jones. He seems like a really nice guy.
I think so. Good all round, good egg.
Trini Kwan, the first Yellow Power Ranger. She wields the Power Daggers and pilots the Saber-Tooth Tiger Dinozord and Grithin Thunderzord. Trini was portrayed by Thoy Trang.
Yep.
Oh, this next one. Every boy's first childhood crush. Kimberly Hart. The first Pink Ranger and the first Pink Ninja Ranger. Oh, yeah, of course. That came a bit later on. She wields the Power Bow and pilots the Pterodactyl Dinozord, Firebird Thunderzord, and Crane Ninja Zord. Kimberly was portrayed by Amy Jo Johnson. I'll say.
She certainly was.
She was a beautiful, beautiful woman when we were kids.
She is now.
Yeah,
She's pretty well.
aging like a fine wine.
Indeed.
Don't tell the missus. Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger.
Still going?
Is he still going?
Yeah, he's in the latest series, Cosmic Fury.
That's insane. Also, the longest lasting member of the original team.
Yep.
So you just mentioned. He wields the Power Lance, pilots the Triceratops Dinozord, Unicorn Thunderzord, Wolf Ninja Zord, and Blue Shogun Zord. Also commands the Dino Megazord after Jason. Billy was portrayed by David Yost. And then finally, as we mentioned, Tommy Oliver.
Yes. The
Green Ranger and White Ranger. Also the White Ninja Ranger. And the second leader of the team following Jason's departure. It will always be Jason. He wields the Dragon Dagger as the Green Ranger and the Saber Sword. Do you remember that? The talking. You don't remember the talking lion thing on his the handle of his sword?
Sounds like a fever dream.
Oh no, I wish it was. But it was quite cool. He'd always talk to Tommy, he'd be like, "Yes, we must summon the Tiger Zord right now, Tommy."
That sounds really creepy.
I don't think he made that noise. But
Have you sounds similar to High on Life? Have you played that?
no.
It's a game on Xbox, and effectively it's first person shooter, and you shoot alien guns, but the guns are aliens.
Okay.
So the whole thing is they talk to you as you're shooting. Like if you shoot a character you're not supposed to, they say, "Oh, you're like," they quip and say, "Oh, you're really murderous," or there's it's not PG rated. They're swearing and dropping F-bombs and like it's quite funny. It is awesome.
There we go. So I've just Googled for.
I recognise the sword, but I don't recognise it talking.
Oh, you don't remember the talk?
Anyway, High on Life is a great game, and High on Life 2 is out at the moment. Good fun. Doesn't take itself seriously, but again, there's weapons that talk to you as you're killing people.
Wow.
It's odd, but entertaining.
I can get on board with that. He piloted the Dragon Zord, White Tiger Zord, Falcon Ninja Zord, and the White Shogun Zord with Catherine, who came along a little bit later to replace Kimberly. Tommy was portrayed by Jason David Frank.
Yep.
This is where it gets dark and dingy, people.
Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Boo! Maybe I should put some kind of ominous, dark music in, like something from the organ or something, to kind of portray what we're going to get into.
Wonder if you can find some dark, lo-fi Power Rangers theme.
Oh, wow. Maybe. Really get us into the mood. Not that we need to. Okay. This next section is aptly named Major Deaths and Tragedies. And it's exactly that. So, what spun out of all this is, during the course of these seasons, things have sadly happened to a lot of the cast and some of the crew of the original series.
Oh, you've got some of the crew as well.
Yeah. And as a result of that, people have said, well, hang on a minute, this is a bit odd. There's a lot of sad misgivings, a lot of mishaps and sad endings to an awful lot of people that are all connected, all with a similar kind of project or period of time. And this is what has spun this online theory of the curse. Now, we both have got some notes on exactly why this probably isn't a thing, but it doesn't paint a pity picture 30 years onwards after these people graced our screens.
I mean, I've only got notes for the original cast and crew members.
Yeah.
But there's a hell of a lot more outside of this little bubble we're about to talk about.
We are. I'm going to kick off in no particular order with Thai Trang.
Yeah, she's first in my notes. She's actually escaped Vietnam by boat with a few of her family members and survived being held in a detention camp in Hong Kong. During the arduous voyage, Trang was extremely sickly and other refugees suggested that her mother throw her overboard. Oof. Eventually, the family made it to America, at which point Trang became interested in acting. She landed a lead role in Power Rangers thanks to the martial arts skills she'd been practicing since childhood and starred in 80 episodes during the first 2 seasons, as well as a few movies. But Alex, pray tell.
At the age of 27, so actually, not much long after she had started her acting career in California, in America, she was a passenger in a vehicle driven by her friend. The car lost control on the mountain road, flipped multiple times, and went over a guardrail. And I guess the obvious outcome is what it suggests. And she passed away sadly on the 3rd September 2001. I think it's sad anyway, you know, anyone passing away, let alone their age, let alone their circumstance. But to come from that kind of background and to flee persecution or danger and poor health in refugee camps to build a career to be one of the most successful actors in a franchise, since multi-billion pound franchise that's loved by children all around the world. In that short amount of time, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. But yeah, the original Yellow Ranger sadly died quite young.
Austin St. John, he hasn't died, but was indicted on criminal charges in 2022. It's not that long ago. He took advantage of the CARES Act, a $2.2 trillion economic stimulus bill which passed in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to allegations, St. John was involved in a scheme that conspired to create or use existing businesses to fraudulently submit applications for paycheck protection funding.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah. The actor was put on pre-trial release following his indictment, which allowed him permission to leave the state of Texas only for work, including his convention appearances. In 2024, St. John accepted a plea deal and pleaded guilty to essentially defrauding the United States government. The conditions of his plea deal weren't readily available, and he hasn't been sentenced to any prison time as of this writing. Yeah, that's not good. He's a criminal.
He's a criminal.
My leader of the Power Rangers is a criminal. Can't believe it.
Do you want another one?
Yep, hit me up.
The Red Wild Force Ranger. Ricardo Medina Jr.
Oh, this rings some bells. Did he murder someone? Uh-oh. 2015,
Medina fatally stabbed his roommate during an argument. He later pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter and served prison time. This is one of the first times a former Ranger actor been associated with a homicide case, generating massive tabloid attention. As I say, played the Red Wild Force Ranger. But yeah, he wasn't involved in some kind of terrible accident. In fact, he caused said terrible accident.
Jesus.
And I think, and I might be mistalking here, misquoting. I think he might have fatally injured his housemate with a sword, which is like art or life imitating art kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, come on,
Christ. Do you want me to go on to the next
one? Yeah.
This is dark. As you can tell, this is so dark that we're taking pauses in between each.
It's difficult.
Do you want to talk about Zordon?
Yeah, I've got this.
Yeah, so from the start of the show until 1998, Robert L. Manahan provided the voice of Zordon. In addition to his voice work, Manahan had a pretty solid career as a sound artist throughout the 1990s and also worked on other popular shows such as Martin, Sweet Valley High, and Beekman's World. 2 years after leaving Power Rangers, a heart aneurysm took Manahan's life at the age of 43, so he wasn't much older than us. That really puts things into perspective.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't dwell on that.
Wow.
Skylar De Leon. The case is often discussed with the curse, though De Leon was not actually a Ranger actor, but mainly main sense, many people assume. She had a role to play behind the scenes. Convicted in the murders of Thomas and Jackie Hawkes in a notorious yacht murder case.
Jesus Christ. Another murder case.
Another one.
Wow. Do you remember Ernie from the original series?
Ernie?
Ernie.
No.
He worked in the Angel Grove Youth Centre. Very nice.
Yes.
Very
Youth
nice
Centre owner I've got here.
Yep, so when the Power Rangers weren't saving the world, the original Power Rangers could be found hanging out at Angel Grove Youth Centre. Richard Janelle played Ernie, the centre's owner, who was often found gently helping his customers with their problems or offering kindly advice. He was honestly such a lovely guy, helping those misguided youth. After 4 years on the show, Janelle left the series, at which point his character was said to have moved to South America to volunteer as an emergency relief worker. Now, in real life, Janelle needed to quit smoking and work on his obesity problem, which resulted in him losing 40 pounds. Sadly, Janelle suffered a fatal heart attack in 2008 at the age of 47.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. It's not just the Power Rangers that are being hit by this curse, it's their friends around them.
Indeed, other cast. Petter Rutter played Udonna. Rutter died in 2010 from a brain tumour at the age of 50.
Wowzers.
Just like that.
Rita Repulsa. So did you say Machiko Soga?
Sure.
So Machiko Soga, who played baddie Rita Repulsa, took a lot of voiceover and radio work in Japan before joining the Super Sentai series, which served as the inspiration for Power Rangers, the American adaptation of the Japanese hit. Soga played 5 different parts throughout the series and became Rita when the American creators reused footage of her from the Japanese series. Soga revealed in 2005 that she had pancreatic cancer for 2 years. Only a year later, in 2006, a friend found her deceased in her home. At the time of her passing, she was 68 years old.
Oh, man.
This is genuinely quite bleak.
We going more?
Yeah, I mean, I've got one more.
I've got quite a few. Pura Magasiva played Shane Clark, the Red Wind Ranger. Not again from the original, but still linked. Magasiva died in 2019 at the age of 38 in New Zealand. Reports later indicated he may have passed away by suicide.
Oh, man.
His death occurred amid reported personal relationship struggles. For the international fans, this reinforced the perception of the tragedies around the franchise.
Wowzers. This is my last one. This is twofold. Some of the biggest tragedies with the Power Rangers involve the heroes of the show succumbing to real-life demons that sadly drove them to suicide. Jason David Frank became extremely popular as Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, a character who began as a villain in the series, but was later made good to join the team. Frank proved so popular that he was ultimately brought back as the White Ranger when the Green Ranger was stripped of his powers. Between 1993 and 1996, Frank appeared on 124 episodes of the show, making him a veteran of the cast. And sadly, Frank was battling his demons, which went back to his early 20s when he began his time on the series. In the recently released Hollywood Demons, which detailed the Power Rangers curse, various people from the history of the show were interviewed, and they hinted that Frank and his older brother Eric endured abuse as kids. They combated this by getting into martial arts to channel some of their issues, and they both pursued careers in acting. Jason would go on to land Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. However, Eric struggled greatly to get work, but his fortune seemed to turn when he was given the opportunity to portray David Trueheart in Power Rangers Zeo, the long-lost brother of Tommy Oliver. It was a 5-episode story arc that Eric hoped would turn into a longer run, but it never happened. His career never took off the same way as his brother's, which was made more stressful by being a young father and husband. Sadly, Eric took his own life by hanging himself in 2001 at the age of 29. Alas, there is more. Jason struggled with his brother's suicide, even blaming himself that he couldn't do more to help him. However, Jason's public persona painted a picture of someone who wanted to help others in a similar position. Not only did he play a hero on television, but he wanted to be a real-life hero to his fans who were struggling. It was a noble cause and something that endured him to a legion of fans, but he was bottling up his own issues, including an on-again, off-again relationship with his estranged wife, Tammy Frank. Although they were attempting to reconcile following her filing for divorce, Frank detailed that over time it seemed like Jason had a void she couldn't fill, no matter how hard she tried. And various actors who worked conventions with him could tell that he wasn't the same guy who attended these events with great exuberance. During their final night together, the pair went to a bar until 2 a.m. and then headed back to their hotel room. Frank ultimately left to grab snacks, leaving Jason in the room alone, but when she was unable to gain access to the room because she had left her key, someone from the front desk let her in, and they found Jason dead in the hotel bathroom. He'd committed suicide and hung himself. 21 years after his brother committed suicide, Jason killed himself in a similar fashion. Very bleak.
Yeah. Very sad. And I guess it should probably be worthwhile saying, like, we don't make light of any of this.
No.
And if you have been affected by any of this, and of course, have a look at the links below. I'll put some links in there in terms of mental health resources and the ilk. It's not something that we are taking entertainment from.
No.
But nonetheless, we are discussing an online theory about what ties all these people together. And on the face of it, with all of these sad stories and endings and tragedies, it does look like there's something more nefarious at play, other than the obvious sad endings to these people's lives. And you can probably see why people are starting to say, actually, is there something going on? Because seemingly it's a very small pool of people, and they've all had these terrible things happen to them. Hence why we've got the internet rumour of a curse. But Dan, is there actually a curse?
I don't think so.
Let's get into it. So, most serious discussions today reject the supernatural framing of a curse. I've got here 4 main topics around possible explanations, which kind of all, I think you've touched them as we've gone through some of the stories. But I mean, the first and obvious one is, I mean, this franchise is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
It's gigantic. So you've got hundreds of actors, decades of productions, international cast, stunt performers, voice actors, crew. Statistically, tragedies are going to occur with the sheer volume of people in and amongst the 30 years of acting, of storytelling, of production. That being said, it is still obviously a small population, and they are quite prevalent, and they're in the forefront of people's minds because people grew up watching these people. And so perhaps other programs that you would have watched before, perhaps not so fondly, they've got equal kind of ratio of sad endings and tragedy, but perhaps we don't follow those because we're not quite so fond of the characters or the stories that they tell. But that's one of them, Dan. Have you got others?
So there's been over 140 actors that have portrayed the Power Rangers since the franchise began, and the vast majority of them have gone on to live normal, positive lives. Now, many psychologists and entertainment historians attribute the struggles faced by a small fraction of the cast to the exploitation of young actors in the industry, as you mentioned, Alex, and the difficulties of adjusting to life after intense, short-lived childhood fame.
Yeah, I've got here, I mean, if you notice, all of the Power Rangers are young or younger, even if they're young people playing people that are perhaps 5 or 7 years younger than, which is silly because you're talking about someone in the mid-20s playing a teenager, but it still does happen and still does occur. They are young, and so with that does come exploitative pay conditions. They had low pay, as you say, Dan. Which, given how big Saban was and how much bank they were making, is actually criminal.
Yep. Yeah.
The legacy that they all built, I mean, they got pretty much nothing from their roles to play in that, which is really, really sad, given we look at other franchises and people have perhaps, for whatever reason, have become more savvy with their contracts, either taken some of the merchandising as opposed to the pay, or taken some of the box office cuts. They've gone on to be quite successful and financially, benefited from this. It sounds like these guys never did.
No, which is really sad.
And also being very young, becoming suddenly famous, a lot of them were then heavily typecasted, so they could never really shake the Power Rangers kind of form. So even if they tried to do something different and break away from that and to have different types of careers and varied careers, they could often not do that because people just saw them as someone who would be in a drama or who would kick the crap out of clay people. Then they could never really see past them and give them a variety of different roles. With that, then obviously then comes sometimes mental health and financial instability. And we see that across Hollywood more generally. Look at the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably an episode in its own, which is another bleak one. Child actors, Macaulay Culkin as an example, is a cautionary tale. Look, the guy's done very well to come out the other side of it, and I'm not saying he's unscathed, but he's, on the face of it, come out the other side of what clearly was a very tough time. notwithstanding, he survived drinking and smoking with Pete Doherty in Paris. Now, if anyone's done that, they're a superhero, right? Because Pete goes hard, bless him.
He's cleaned himself up over the recent years, yeah. He's a very different person now, but yeah, he's cleaned himself
that
up.
mind, Pete was phenomenal. I know going off a tangent, but he was a fantastic writer. It all kind of went to waste over the course of 15, 20 years, but... Yeah. Again, someone who's found fame and perhaps couldn't quite deal with it.
Lindsay Lohan was another.
True.
I think she's only really just got herself back on her feet in recent years. She did the Netflix film. Did we review that film? I can't remember. But yeah, it was a while ago. 2-3 years ago?
I don't think we did, but I think we were going to. It's quite good, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
Child actors. It's a really tough... Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, there's another.
It's a thing, and I don't know how people get protected by it, because to some extent there's no real guardrails about someone who's missing out on their childhood, ends up being catapulted into the limelight, gets lots of money. Where's the boundaries? And sadly, a lot of these actors had that experience, perhaps less about the money but more about the exposure. So yeah, child stardom and fame pressure definitely played their roles. We talked about exploitative working conditions, so yes, low pay, but lack of protections, difficult stunt work, minimal residuals, so payments as a result of their shows being run. So I'm not sure if you see a lot about residuals at the moment, but some people are actually sharing on social media how much they get from the residuals. So every month or every year, the network or the publisher or whoever's looking after their IP, their content, they get money from marketing, from people streaming, from whatever, and they then distribute the actor's cut, and it comes through from the publisher, or again from the studio in a pay slip. They say, "Oh, this is the film that you were in, and this is how much you get this month." And some of them like pence, or dollars or pounds, but some of them are big bank. But again, these kids never signed contracts seemingly that allowed them to get residuals. It just all went to Heimsaban.
Yeah.
Which again is it's criminal really in today's standards. So yeah, they clearly didn't have the right kind of protection when they went into filming.
I'd like to think we've come a long way since the 90s, but there's still clearly improvements we need to make in the current day.
Yeah, no, indeed.
For sure.
And then the last one I got here is the internet.
Yep.
If enough people look at it, they'll all come up with the same kind of analysis, which is a lot of people all have something in common, all around a similar age or experience, and all have had very sad endings or experiences to them. And the internet's going to make up stuff.
Yep.
Notwithstanding, there does seem like quite an unfortunate group of people. But with all of those aspects in mind, you can kind of understand why. Doesn't take anything away from actually what they've done, which I think is really sad. We again, we're not making light of anything that we talked about, or these sad misgivings of these individuals. But perhaps on another take, actually, we should celebrate the legacy they've built.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they weren't financially compensated for it, and some of them sadly were badly affected as a result of making these programs. But let's not forget, they did make millions upon millions of children, still to this day, incredibly happy, and are single-handedly to blame for kids going to A&E and to the first aid room at school. And that's something which we shouldn't forget about. They built something fantastic, and yeah, they have got a sad story, but also I think they've got quite a happy one in the eyes of their fans. They've built something. There's now comic books, there's novels, there's computer games, there's this whole world that people have built around these characters. And look at the reboots. The reboot wasn't great, but they're looking to do it again. But it's a story that will persevere. But it would have not been made possible without these pioneers at clearly a time where they should have had the protections in place. But in spite of that, they still delivered something which was fantastic.
Agreed.
So, yeah, it's incredibly sad. We hope to think there is no curse. It's just unfortunate, and it's just a game of numbers, as it always is with these things. Perhaps look at it a different way, in which actually they were a triumph and still have a lasting legacy today for the right reasons.
I'd say in the too long didn't listen, there is no curse. And actually, they're just human beings.
Just human beings.
Just human beings. So is there a curse? In my opinion, no.
No. Debunked? We hope so.
Like to think so.
But I mean, they're all still, I think, watchable. They're on YouTube, and I think they're all on Netflix currently.
Netflix now, isn't it?
Season 1 definitely is, and they've got the movie, I think, on there, and they've got the recent series that I'm watching with my son on there. I don't know if the subsequent ones will be on there. You mentioned Disney Plus. I mean, Disney are buying up everything at the minute, so it may be that it changes. But either way, it's all on there. So if you want to go down memory lane and see some of the things we talked about and enjoy some of the iconic storylines and scenes which we all know and love, then it's all there to stream and enjoy.
Definitely.
And it's still good. I mean, some of it, it's a bit ropey. You can clearly see someone dressed in pyjamas with silver paint on. But it is a thing of a time, and as you say, Dan, we were going week on week, or sometimes every 2 weeks. I don't know what was going on in America. They had, I don't know, Founders Day, if that's a thing, or they had Thanksgiving. You're like, well, we don't have that, so why have I got to wait? I don't want to wait for that. Well, you're going to have to, because the Americans are having their holidays.
Yeah, I still remember, actually, when they teased the White Ranger, but it was only the logo, and it cut to the credits. I was like, what is this? I need to know. I need to know right now. And don't think the next episode aired for like a good 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think I looked into at the time it was Radio Times, so it's the magazine that at the time my nan bought. I lived with my nan, and she got it from Sainsbury's on the weekly shop, and you get this magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're not familiar with the Radio Times, it was basically a magazine that told you the scheduled times each day for most of the main channels of terrestrial, so 1 to 5. And then some of the cable and the Sky programs, some of them, of what was happening. So you'd start from 5 o'clock in the morning all the way through to midnight.
Yeah.
And it'd tell you hour on hour what was scheduled to watch. And that was the only way you could tell and then look ahead. Before then, of course, then Sky kicked in and took over, and you could then check it that way. The planners. But yeah, it was all written down. You have it a week in advance.
You can still get them now, but my nan was exactly the same. She would get one every week, and she'd always circle what she was going to watch.
Exactly. Or you dog ear bend the page over for the days. You definitely need to set up the recorder. But anyway, the point is, I know a couple of Radio Times went past where it just wasn't on. I was like, why? I need to act out the latest episode at school. Where's this gone? It's because America had something going on.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
Thanksgiving.
You can enjoy your bank holidays. We'll just wait for you to finish.
Keeping us hanging.
Indeed.
Oh, that was a bit of a shit sandwich.
Just a little bit. It was dank, bleak. But I think there are some positive takeaways from it.
Yeah,
perhaps.
For sure. What's coming up next? What are we doing?
That's a very good question. Birthday.
Yes, we've got our Ask Us Anything. So you can still ask your questions. You've still got... Are we doing it next week?
Hope so.
Anyway, what happens is we go to the pub, lapel mics, get some beers in us, and it gets a little bit unhinged.
Well, maybe you don't need the lapel mics now you've got this lovely box tricks.
No, true. Just need somewhere to plug it in.
We'll find a pub with a plug.
Yeah, 100%.
But yes, we'll talk, we'll drink, we'll do some ASMR.
Yeah, annoy the
Can't get
listeners
them,
with
right.
your crunching of the crisps.
Yeah, which I know does trigger some people, which is understandable, by the way. And we'll answer some more questions, but yes, there is plenty of time to do that. And then we'll probably decide from there. We've got some left field content. Perhaps we might start talking about maybe some more cryptids. But we'll look out on the socials and see what we've got planned.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've done some urban legends and all that stuff. So maybe it's time to dive in left field. Because you sent me something earlier. I don't want to give too much away. But his name's Sam. He lives on the Isle of Wight.
That's all we need to say.
That's all you need to know.
But don't Google that. You're going to now, aren't you? You've already gone and done it, Dan. They Google. Don't Google this if it's late at night.
It's
because
creepy.
It's not the kind of thing you need to see.
Content.
Do not click on. They've already got to click on the images now, Dan.
Oh, you told them to.
They're now looking at the scroll. They're not even listening to us. They're scrolling and looking at the images. Look what you've done, and it's late at night now. Listening, and you've only gone and done it. Well, we're going to have to put their mind at ease and probably do an episode in the coming weeks. So yes, it's plenty to look forward to, and there's a lovely mix. But every week you're also diligently putting out a Throwback Thursday.
Yes.
So now that we can sprinkle some lighter content as the weeks go on.
Some tasty content indeed. But if you want to follow us or you want to get in touch, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads or Blue Sky, which are at On The Topic Pod. And then we've got Gmail, which is onthetopicpodcast@gmail.com. And then Alex got YouTube.
Yeah, it's at OTTGITS, or all you've got to do is Google On Topic Podcast with Alex and Dan. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you can be notified when an episode drops. But as we said at the top of the episode, look, if nothing else, if you haven't done already, maybe you just found us. Maybe someone's recommended. Maybe you found a sticker with a QR code on a lamppost that we didn't put there, but someone might have done. And you've gone, what is this? And you're listening for the first time, in which case, welcome. Now's the time to hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify, do us a favour. If you rate it wherever you wanted to, but if you can rate us on Spotify, that'd be really helpful, because they also host the show. And they help us to really get out there and get new people to listen to us.
Yes.
Just takes a couple of seconds, but do us a solid. I would really appreciate it. But also in the comments below on Spotify, you can also be part of the show. We've got a special phrase or word this week. Dan's quickly thinking, because we haven't talked about this before. And you can be our star listener of the episode if you put this in the comments below. Dan, what is that this week?
We will keep it nice and light. It's morphin time.
It's morphin time. Is that IN apostrophe? Morphin?
Yeah,
time?
morphin.
Yeah, very good. So it's morphin time. So if you're still listening, thank you for sticking along with us. Type in "it's morphin time" in the comments below in Spotify, and you could be our star listener of the episode.
Yes, do a thing.
Do it.
But for another week, Transaurus! I've been Dan.
And I'm going to go into a lot and try and find that Power Rangers Game Boy game, because I fancy going to those bloody caves and killing away those bats. I'm Alex.
And we'll see you next time.